Alright, we're live.
I doubt that we're gonna have much public.
Ooh.
Public.
Yeah,
We really can't comment on.
no,
We try.
I know,
Well, I called Lori just to make sure, because
Lori.
some people might have not looked at it and said, oh, it's 5 o'clock, not 6.
Because it's not very common, right? But
Yeah, that we do it at 5, yeah, exactly.
all right, want some water?
I'm good, yeah. Well, you can bring some, yeah.
Just in case somebody's thirsty.
Might get a little bit dry.
What is it? You need a message? I didn't know this morning. I'll get a little bit.
Hey.
This in case.
That's what I keep forgetting to do.
But you don't have a cute little sweater you get to wear.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I don't know what you're gonna do with it, but I don't
Should I
know
wear
what I'm gonna do with mine.
yeah, sometimes they want these back.
Yeah, I've meant to
Maybe just
leave.
pull your name out so they have those.
Yeah,
I just forgot to do it.
Yeah.
I can do it next time.
Uh-huh.
Did you have a good day today?
yeah. I finally got to be outside for a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
All
The wind
week.
didn't come up until
No, in
we
fact,
played tennis. We were a little worried about the
Oh.
wind coming up, but it was perfect.
yeah, because
It was really
and
nice.
it came up a little bit, 10 or 11, but it felt kind of good.
Oh, yeah. Because it
So-
kind of cooled you off a little bit. The temperature wasn't really high.
No.
It was low 80s.
And
Now
it's-
stayed at about 74, which is fine.
Yeah, mine. Yeah, because it said the next few nights are gonna be 58 tonight, 56, 58,
Didn't they
60.
say something about rain toward the end, beginning of next week or something like that? I thought Catherine saw that. Anytime they predict more than 4 or 5 days
That's
out.
like science
I don't
fiction.
believe it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Approved. It's done. It's done. We're done. Let's get out of here.
Yep,
It's all done? Good. Good.
Did anybody leave? Did you leave a cup? Water cup?
the pink and blue one.
Yeah. Who put
Yeah.
it? That was yours?
Yeah,
Okay, I got it in there. I also some sunglasses, but I don't know who's moving on to.
Oh, okay.
oh, thank you, Eddie.
Trina, I'm surprised anyone's coming to this. It's so boring.
It's not really boring. I mean,
Well,
it's
it's-
just,
There's a lot on that.
Well, I know, but the issue
I
is
know.
the public can't comment on this because we're doing a work
Not
session.
yet.
Not yet, yeah.
but there's so many
She's
things
getting
that,
herself ready.
every issue that's brought up has good questions.
Oh, it does. It does. Yeah, I liked Eddie that he put those in
Gonna
there.
have a quorum?
We don't have to have quorum because it's a work session. That's what I thought. I sent a message to Eddie and I said, well, looking at the agenda, and I said, don't we have to vote? Don't we have to vote on the minutes? And he said, no.
So how did this list get generated? Is this just?
Eddie,
Eddie thinks-
Probably Eddie.
Issues that have come up during the past?
Yeah, a lot of them we've just struggled with
confusion
recently.
and
Thank you,
reading
dear. I appreciate it.
Did you have the agenda too? or not?
Yep. I just put that up there.
I think we have the.
yeah, yeah. that's
Yeah, I
right.
saw that.
Like the, you know.
Well, the questions, we might not cover all of them, but I have some questions on some.
no, I think-
Yeah, questions on the question. I do too.
Oh,
That's a lot.
Some of the signs were
We're gonna try
interested
to-
by Mary.
we'll narrow it down. We're gonna have a couple of commissioners to be absent today.
Well,
so
she's not-
We'll do what we can. Matter of fact, it's already 5:00.
Oh, the whole meeting?
Well,
You don't have to set up, even though someone
About
comes.
signs.
But you,
So I don't know if
I
you've
did
seen
just now.
around town that-
at least I can't give her a dirty eyed look. She's
Ah.
not sitting there.
There's like the little yard signs.
Yeah.
So we have their signs out.
Anyway.
They stick the sign
I know.
on.
Like I said, I wasn't tired last night, so I got back up and I just started looking at this.
Hey, how are you?
Got a little wound up.
Yeah, it is.
Let them do it for a week or two or a month.
Is everybody coming? Do you know?
Very few
We've actually.
Eric's not coming, Martha's not coming,
Yeah, and they're not even supposed to be up.
and probably Rosemary.
Mosquitoes
Probably
flying
not
around.
Rosemary.
What happened?
So I think we're kind of it.
Now,
I don't know.
last,
Rosemary,
week,
she didn't leave me a message, Daddy knew about it,
Okay.
but I heard that Martha.
Yeah, we'll take off.
from-
I caught them on both. Next thing is gonna be, we need to go around and get rid of all these.
Hey, thanks for at least trying to come to that meeting on Monday, or on Friday, because it was confusing to start with.
Yeah,
And
I
not
don't-
everyone got the message.
It's because I don't read my emails.
Well, that
okay.
would help. Yeah, I don't
Unless we
either.
have a meeting.
I don't either.
Well, I went to the website just to make sure.
Since I don't,
Yeah,
work anymore, I don't
I do the same thing. Once in a while, I look at it and go, oh, no.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, to see this is at 5 o'clock, right at 6. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there's still a.
It's hard to keep track of all this.
We'll get them on
I hope I
it.
didn't say that. So that I come watch it on.
Oh,
Though that I do, I can do that.
oh yeah, that would be good. But they do record it.
They're just not.
Yeah, you can get to it. Has he done that? Has he sent it to you yet?
Well, I don't feel as bad.
We'll get to, we got a lot of work to do now.
I know.
Oh, yeah, I know.
I met him
We were
walking
walking
in.
out and he's coming in and he goes, oh.
How's it going? Sorry.
I'll show you something. You do, yes, you-
Oh, I didn't look at mine yet.
All right.
This is so cool. Historic stories from this place.
We need to take some good notes. Who's the secretary here?
From New York, people come from San Francisco to settle in this town. It's stories about people in the town. I thought
You got a truck from up there?
So. I had,
It's there, it's under a lot
oh.
now.
Okay, good.
This whole, they're trying to do a lot of. 66.
I might sit down a little bit.
It's cool.
So it is.
Move it over there.
Yeah, yeah.
I know for sure Martha's not.
Do you
If
get
the
this
copy
edition?
stays, I can.
Yeah.
Do you want a copy?
I think we
Yeah,
got
yeah.
two more.
It's really cool. Yeah, well, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know if you have to do it now, but
Okay, you know where I work.
I know where you, I know where you live. I know where you work, not where you live.
Yeah.
I know where you are sometime up in Santa Fe on the weekend.
Yeah.
Guess
In fact, was Alex up there when you went last?
No.
She comes on Thursday.
Yeah.
That's usually up.
That's a cute picture.
Someone's gonna ask you to give her a hug for me.
Oh, yeah. I think she was there on yeah, on Thursday.
It's
last
usually
Thursday.
Thursday.
This is that Route 66 diner.
Yeah.
Have you
that's
been
very-
to that one?
No.
That's a cool one.
Looks
They do this, I had a banana split there. This was the year when I first visited. Ice cream balls like this. It was amazing. I couldn't finish it.
Too much sugar.
I guess.
Normie called me today and he did not hear me. Found out his diabetic.
Is that surprising?
Yeah,
Is it?
because he hardly eats any pasta.
Get in here.
Really?
It's really low.
Wow.
You know, you don't think it's many people.
Low level.
Yeah, kind of like Greg Henry, you know, he's a
Oh.
skinny guy that fights, that it just doesn't sing.
Yeah.
I go
So
there,
we
and
are
there's
it?
no fat or no sugar.
I mean, we'll probably just, Stevie just got to walk in whenever.
Oh, about
Whenever you're
quarter
ready.
past,
I'm-
we're on. Wait for Mary to come in. She's settling down.
Ready to start?
Yeah.
You're ready to start.
Mary?
Back to the table, 4-5.
Mary?
We're ready.
We have 5 minutes.
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
Oh, that's sorry. That's
It's 5:03.
add a little lamb.
Well, you can get started. She's still over there.
She's coming.
Yeah, I can fit 6.
Okay, I'll go ahead and get started. So we're here for the Planning, Zoning, and Historical Appropriateness Commission meeting. And it's a work session, and it's May the 18th, 2026. a little after 5:00. And apparently we don't have to go through a pledge of allegiance. We don't have a roll call because there's no projects for us to deal with, and also the public input. So we're going to go right into the work session.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My name is Eddie Salazar. I'm with the Community and Economic Development Department. I have here with me Diana Aguirre with the Historic Specialist. Today in this work session is Mr. Chair Walkinshaw, Commissioner Lucero, and Commissioner Miller. We do have Commissioner's pause. She'll be running a little late. She'll be, I'm told, about 10 minutes or so, sort of from this. So the very first reason why we're doing this work session is to discuss interpretation and discrepancies with our town code. There's a list in front of us, probably maybe 15 topics. I think there are a little bit too many to discuss in detail. I don't think we're gonna get through all of them. I think there are some that we do need to go through. They're a little bit more present and a little bit more priority-wise, more necessary. And the very first one in particular is the very first one on your list is about permits. I did bring it up last meeting about, the interpretation of our code permits, and now I'll move my laptop over to that section of our code as well. But basically, our permits is issued for a year, and that is should be on Title 15, 1515 Building Code. And in our permit, depending on what zone you're in, some are required to come and be reviewed by the planning and zoning. If it does come to the Pzhac, the Pzhac will make a determination to approve or a recommendation to the board of trustees. Right? I mean, everybody's on the same page with that.
Yep.
Okay,
Are we on this one or this?
that one,
The latest one. Oh,
the latest one that I forwarded to you.
this one.
Yeah. The very, and that is on the permit. Okay. So again, this is for a year. There is a Pzhac will determine an approval, or if our code specifies, it will need to go to a recommendation from board trustees. The approval that on, which is basically in the RF, R8, or R1 zone.
Right, correct.
They also have final approval for businesses, right? It does not go to the BOT for final approval for businesses. The Pzhac does final approval. Obviously, the Pzhac can always say, hey, I would like to request this be forwarded to the board for final consideration. And that we can request. But in a nutshell, now there is administrative approvals. Administrative approval basically is for renovations up to $10,000 in our historic zone and in the commercial. Renewal, I mean, we don't want to renew a house that would be $50,000 excessive. These are renewals back to its original state, which means it's got to be the same color, the same material, the same.
Okay.
So that is administrative approval. Another administrative approval is anything outside of the HR zone and commercial zone that is not heated space, regardless of the price, right? So if somebody wants to put a carport, it's not heated
So
space.
it's not the 10,000 limit.
Exactly.
Okay.
If somebody wants to do a shed, somebody wants to do, I don't know, a basketball court or something, I'll probably bring something like that. Somebody even asked me, are tennis courts allowed in the setbacks? I'm like, that's a good question.
That's a big property.
But
We've never.
yeah, so something like that is out of the norm, I will definitely bring it to the Pzhac because I don't want to take that upon myself.
There's already a tennis court in.
Yeah, but is a tennis court just the pavement itself considered a structure? I mean, because you have driveways all the way up to your fence, and that's not a structure, right? I mean, so again, there's just interpretation. Sometimes just use example, something like that in consideration, I would bring to the board or the Pzhac for all of us to review because it's a little bit unclear.
And I know swimming pools kind of fall into that too.
Exactly.
We've approved swimming pools, and the question would be about the setback.
Yeah,
and the
which is 5
protection.
feet.
Yeah.
Generally, whatever setback it is, pools are allowed within the 5 feet.
Yeah.
Either 20-foot setback for the zone or it's 7.
Yeah.
It's still 5 feet allowed. All right. So again, going back to the permits, they're allowed for 1 year. They're issued for 1 year, and is subject for renewal if they expire or before they expire. That's one of my questions is,
Yeah.
should they renew before they expire or should they renew when they expire, right?
Or more of
Ideally
a,
would be
more of a question of when the clock starts.
Yeah, that's
And
what.
and
that's-
that's,
that's-
and that's
that's
another
my
thing.
thing. Yeah.
Exactly. So there have been some permits that have been approved, or requests that have been approved that are have been set conditions when the plans come in. That's when you're approved, right? So I take that, okay, so whenever all the packet is complete, that's when the time frame starts.
Should,
Sorry,
should.
do y'all agree? I mean, I'm just.
Should we,
By the
So this
BOT? Because right here, the top first item is whether it's
Or
Pzhac or BOT.
Yeah, but if the BOT approves. All right, you're approved, as long as all the permits come in, then, yeah, approved by the board of trustees, but there's that they made that decision is not necessarily the approval.
Since I brought up the clock issue, I wrote down a couple items on that. I think if a project doesn't require a CID approval, that's, takes some time. Probably less time than we take with us and DOT.
A lot.
Yeah.
It's already done by the
But anyway, what I was getting at, for those projects that don't require, I would think clock starts once the DOT, and it takes DOT approval. Then, when it's been approved, not only by us, it has on to DOT, but DOT is approved. It seems like that, for those projects, I think the clock starts, in my mind, the clock starts there. Or the next one.
I agree with whatever, the whole commission.
And by the same token, if it requires a CID permit, I guess it also asks the question is, okay, the project goes into CID, if it's required, and they approve it. We know is the project component, we come back to you when they get the permit that goes on the wall. In other words, do you know when it's approved by CID? Okay.
And I've already requested that, and that's something that they don't do. Whenever they approve it, I don't get notified. The only way to get notified, they tell me, is whenever you see a permit on the website. Which
So
is
you
kind of sad.
issue those permits, don't you?
Huh?
Don't you issue those? Right.
I have to issue those permits in order for CAD to take in their application. So it needs to see approval in order for them to consider it. Once they consider it and they approve it,
Well, again, if you say they don't take much time to, most projects, they don't take much time to approve CID pretty quick. So maybe it's a non-issue.
and that's why,
If we don't know, it is or not.
Yeah, it is.
so we, again, we're not approving their permit, we're just saying, whenever our last, here, go get your permit from CID, that's when our clock starts. Because if you wanna drag your feet, 2 months from now, and you don't get it started, then it's not our fault, you should have been ready for it, right? You should have been ready for that.
That does simplify it in my mind, then regardless of whether it takes a CID permit or not, it's when, for those cases where DOT approved it, that's when the clock is.
Unless there is a condition, which is a condition, kind of like similar to the solar panel, right? Right, that permit still hasn't been issued, can't be issued, because all those plans still need to come in.
Right.
Because we're not requesting the resident to come in with official plans if it's not necessary, right? If they don't know it's gonna get approved.
Yeah.
So once they know it's approved, and how we know when the issues are approved, because whenever they come here and they pick up the permit, our computer logs it, the date it was issued. It's not necessarily the date it was approved by the BOT, it's just whenever they picked it up. And that date doesn't always match. And I think it should be off whatever the computer says. If you picked it up, whenever you paid for it, that's when your permit starts. Right?
But that's not possible prior to, right?
Correct. And because all the paperwork needs to be coming in, I need to approve it in order for you to be able to pick it up. You know what I mean? I just don't want, misleading to say, well, we approved you in May, you know what I mean? And it's already been, we're in June, it should be already a year that, well, they haven't picked it up, or they didn't pick it up, though, now they don't pay over
But
it.
that was another question that comes on later on, I think, is, for instance, on my project, I came in, gave you the proposal for the solar. I paid my fee. And so what if DOT, and I think you got it in here, what if DOT doesn't approve it? Then I've already paid $100 and something. Do I get that back?
No.
That doesn't seem very fair.
Yeah.
No, I'm just joking.
Okay.
That is why we have both, we have a permit fee and we have a review fee. You all don't see it very much because I include it together whenever it comes to
You
use.
just total it.
So yeah, so this is total, so you will get your permit back, you won't get your review fee back.
Okay.
You know what I mean, that's the whole purpose
But
of
that
that.
doesn't show up on what you gave back to me. In other words, you just said, here's the total.
Correct. No, it just gives you the total.
Okay.
And then, but the thing with that, our code says a
Yep.
review fee and permit fee, but it doesn't say anything, you'll get your money back if you're not approved. Right, so I guess that's another thing, that's why I wrote in there, that it needs to be clarified, that,
But with that being said, isn't it like, if it doesn't get approved, say by us, and you have, or it has conditions or whatever the case may be, then doesn't it go from there, they do the conditions and then they go to the BOT for final approval? So shouldn't it get approved by them?
it depends if they can do it by then, like, if we can, the commission says, all right, we'll approve you, but you gotta have this condition done before it gets presented to the board of trustees, right? Or like if you have plans, like for instance, it could be anything, it could be this factory, it could be Casablanca, it could be, a park or whatever, or not a park, a sports complex. Yeah, they're gonna propose a development, but they're not gonna spend all the money and put in the money into the plan, they wanna get approval, like a pre-approval letter. So you can approve it, but their 1 year time frame shouldn't start then, right? The 1 year time frame should start whenever all the plans come in, it's fine.
How do you, but you said when it's logged and there's a date, shouldn't that be the date?
Yes,
That
yes,
was
that's
the
and
same.
it is, and that's how we've been treating it, I just wanna make sure we clarify that that's what's going on and not
The date,
something that we're approving, and
the date they come and pick up the permit.
exactly.
That-
Because there was in one case, it took them close to a year to get all the plans.
That's not.
Yeah, took almost 1 year, so if anybody would ask, I say, well, how come, where's their renewal? Well, I haven't renewed it yet because they just picked it up 10 months later, right? Yeah, so that's what I'm about.
But that's the date we should.
And the date it was issued, yeah, exactly.
So I mean, that makes sense.
Well, I would,
agree with how you were.
I would word it with something like, the permit is active, the time that is issued by the community development after all conditions.
Where it
Maybe
says
so-
the permit issue at the date of approval.
Yes, which is not necessarily always the case for the Pzhac approves it or BOT approves it, it's with all the,
Which
whenever
is
it's
the
issued,
date of permit pay or.
whenever it's issued by the community development. I mean, we're not gonna issue it until all the conditions are met, alright? Well, how would you, I mean,
That's right.
Which is the date of
Maybe
time
they should
the
get
approval of.
issue start date.
Because when they're paying is when they pick it up after the night, because it could be, sometimes they're like, oh, it's issued, but it's not totally paid for. And for me, it's once it's in the hands and paid for, that's.
I would be a little concerned about the school board on that project there. $60,000 is what they're gonna have to pay.
I'm sorry.
We are all of us.
I played the fifth.
That's
So-
right.
You heard me in the meeting.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
tried not, I tried not.
I know you did. You did.
And it's like, ouch. But I have a feeling it's gonna come. I just, because I'm thinking, I know the state, the museum paid for the little sign, which is very pocket change. And they insisted that, hey, we want to follow all the rules and because we started on the wrong foot. I don't know if you remember, I tagged them when they started putting the museum together, and I retired them, they got mad at me.
Because all-
They didn't have a permit.
The electrical. because of-
Yeah, exactly. Now they have that cable, you pay
Yeah,
that, so I'm gonna put that up. But anyway, so they wanted to be popular, but if you really look at me, the church really is not a government agency. And they were looking at the New Mexico DOT highway, did they pay for, how many billions of dollars, millions of dollars, did they pay for a permit? So it's like, because I didn't think of that till after the fact, I'm like, oh, that's a good point. So afterwards, the next day I sent the Spruce's gentleman that was here, and he purposely ready to pick up, and I told him, he's all like, well, that's about 10 times more than I expected, well, I'm sorry, but that's what it is, and then, well, can you guys reconsider? I'm like, you heard more, unless you wanna file an official, appeal or whatever, then, you have to, so.
Yeah, I always thought that, maybe, you said there's two different, there's the fee for.
And review.
And review. So it makes sense to me that the review, because I have another note here saying, begs the question of what staff efforts does the fee items cover? And it would be just a review.
To review on all.
So I can understand that because it's taking you time, the staff time, to go ahead and have the review it. But when you're talking about related to construction, which the fees are, and they don't construct it because
The,
it seems like they ought to get something.
the two main revenues of Mesilla is tourism and permits.
Okay, then, there's much, we need them.
He's just
So-
worried just in case.
So permits,
I don't know that.
and I talked to Tom, I said, I actually talked to, what's her name? Not actually, the lady at the office at CID. And I said, how do you all determine what the permit fee should be, right? Like, just come up with, and I did a little bit of research myself before I called her, and, she saw like, well, no, that's just whatever the state decides and blah, blah, blah. So I talked to Tom, like, hey, my research, my understanding is the IBC, independent, not independent, International Building Code, comes out every 6 months with a recommendation
Okay.
of a formula that you put together to determine what your building costs. It depends on the construction cost. You know, like gasoline, everything goes up, prices go down, you know. So we're figured with that. So it's not always constant, it's always changing in their recommendation, right? So I did the math, with our current permit fees, and it's like, our permit's like way low in comparison. And my understanding, according to Tom and the county, we're the highest. So I asked Thomas, hey, I said, how do you guys figure out your permit? How do you guys manage, to be honest, it's been over 10 years and we, made any changes or considerations for our permit fees.
I think the answer for that is they do a lot of volume. So they have enough staffing based on that volume.
And it's a state,
Yeah,
right?
we did.
They have, and again, we are a small municipality, so we rely on our permit fees, right?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, sometimes
That's good.
it's a lot of money, but my thought is because it's a government agency, should they, be considered a waiver on it? And because it's not in our code,
No,
we just gotta follow our code, right? That's what we do.
no, they don't need to.
So-
consider it special.
It's,
No offense, but we pay for it anyway.
you
We
know,
probably pay for it anyway,
but,
but it's gonna
What if
be
you only do
for the
half?
purpose.
what's that?
What if you only do half?
But the thing is, what makes us make that decision? You know, yeah, I think maybe you can do half, maybe, like I was just mentioning, the Mexico DOT, you know, whenever it was signed in 2023, they never paid for any permits.
I'm not kidding.
No, nothing, the whole millions of dollars that thing got, we paid out over $200,000 off of that permit.
Maybe the answer to that is when you're paying only half, that's when the contractor or the owner has to say, it's too big of a project, I can't finish it in a year or a year and a half. So you phase it. And so in phasing it, that's how you kind of cut down.
And we
Initially.
recommend, yeah, we recommend that
Yeah.
sometimes.
Well, I said that's the question of like, if not approved, they get the permit fee back.
Right.
But not the review, because it's two different.
Not the review. And that's why in our code, it says they allow you, if it's large sum amount of money, they allow you to put 20% down for your permit.
For deposit.
A deposit, correct.
Well, then just keep the deposit, no one can do this now.
That's what the review fee was created, but see, it doesn't explain it in our code. Let me bring it up.
So then do we go
Well,
like fine tune?
Can we first finish with question number one, so we can move on?
Okay.
We
That is
keep
question
jumping
one.
then.
I was trying to.
Let's go.
I thought it was the date of,
Okay.
the date of,
Expiration date.
yeah.
Oh,
I thought that's where we.
what is, yeah, I think we decided whenever it gets picked up and all that conditions.
The date of,
Right.
I'm sorry,
Permit
I was
issue?
trying to figure out the word.
the date of permit issue.
First.
First
And I had to look at the date of permit is issued after meeting all, requirements or something like that. Not necessarily whenever CID issues.
No,
That's
just
on
the
their
permit.
timeline.
But then it
Issued by you, right? Because you have to sign off on it.
By the department, I'm not.
But I think the follow-up to that was, if it's going to expire their permit, what is the window frame? When do we say they have to
Reapply.
reapply, you know?
Well,
I would assume before it expires, right, you need to continue work, so you don't want to have to stop, you want to continue. But what if it does expire? Does disqualify them from getting the extension, or does this just start over again?
Or do we apply a late fee, an additional fee?
Yes, the other question is, realistically, who's really monitoring? Yeah, you. And so it would seem like, this might not work, but it seems like it's really the responsibility of the applicant to monitor the time.
As long as they're told that there's an expiration.
Right.
date. I think it's still say, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Anyway, that was.
Yeah,
bigger projects,
I
I
don't
mean, you
understand
could
how
on
you
the
have
permit.
just 12 months.
What do you mean, as far as the
I mean,
process?
just so that we have record.
Yeah, because it's
Just
not,
to get them people going.
yeah, it's only because it's in like COVID in that section.
To verification.
And it always seems like very petty stuff, but there's always cases, and you've heard them already, you know, they rely on, not rely, but they use certain sections of their code that's not very clear to either
Try to get there.
to deny a case that's being with, no, which I'm just trying to be proactive, and try to eliminate as
To
much
be
as
fair,
possible.
to be fair.
Whoever.
These two had some pretty good comments on.
You're talking about the, does
Well,
it
she was
show
saying put
an
it on the
expiration
permit.
date on the permit and when it expires, but then also, I don't know if it's you, like, or
Right.
somebody that notifies them, like, hey, when it's coming up, so that they have two verification points of like, it's on the permit and they've already contacted this, they have to get it.
There is one on the permit itself, expiration date. And then, but notifying them again that they'll be, I mean, that's
It's
just,
only one time.
yeah, that'll be once a year, we would think it once a year, but it would just be more on, cause if they don't get it, or I don't send it, right, then their reason's gonna be why
No,
not.
if it's on the permit, that's a.
Right,
that's
it's in the
just-
structure.
You don't need to.
Any verbal.
I mean, we're not babysitters, we're doing.
Now, what I do think, I think would be, you know, as a courtesy,
Yeah.
maybe, but not as expected, like most of these business licenses, why didn't get a letter, so I didn't renew it. It's a courtesy letter, it's not,
Right.
it's not an invoice.
Right.
So I would like eventually, I'd like to move more into the emails, right? To where you wanna be on our email notification system, I can send you an email that your permit is about ready to expire. You know what I mean? Come get it, cause the AI software that we're getting will do all that.
Want to reduce your.
Exactly. Now, if I have to print the letter out, I lick the envelope, I have to pay for the stamp, that's good.
Right.
And it automated email
Mhm.
that states, you know.
But too, I mean, shouldn't there be a, if it's, how do I put it, if it's not like a technical issue, why they have not,
Renew or renew.
or gotten their project done within the year's time span. And it's really kind of just that they're lagging in, you know what I mean? That it's not technical
They don't have good
issues,
excuses, I
then,
think.
yeah,
Right,
then
there.
why should we keep letting them without having to pay the process, you know what I mean?
No, I mean, they still gotta pay, it's just for the, not to make their life easier, just to make our process more streamlined. That's not getting, not so much for their purpose, like, again, one of my things, I try to find time, streamline the time so I can use my time more valuable in other areas. Than I
Right,
do, right? So, that is why, not so much doing them a favor, helping them out, it's just, okay, if their permits expired, do we have to go through this whole process of approval again, which is time consuming, not only time consuming. Paper.
Are we on to number 2 yet?
He's already
Well,
skipped it
it's-
all the way down.
If it's not picked up, that's why I was saying that right there, if it's not picked up within
But yeah, I think it should
months
get
later.
renewed before it expires,
Yeah.
and for 6 months, and then if it expires after 6 months, which is a month and a half, do they get another extension, or do they pay again, or do they have to come over again? And nothing's changed.
Well, if it's technical issues, I would say do another extension,
That's what I would
you
say.
know?
More lenient on it, yeah.
That way, that's what I would say, if you know, I don't think it should be just one more extension is allowed, I think you could extend it for every 6 months until the project is done, right? You just gotta continue to pay, I mean, if you, and as long as nothing changes.
That is.
But you know, like, so when you said continue to pay, it wouldn't be a whole lot, right?
Doesn't it state on the?
It's half the price, this is only for 6 months.
Oh, okay.
So if you're paying $1,000 for a permit, at the extension, you pay 500 for 6 months, additional. And then you wait for another 6
Yeah,
months. for another
exactly.
500.
I mean, I would say.
Would you guys like that idea? I like it too.
Right.
We're on the same page.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, so I'm confused here.
So there's no limit on extensions, but the
Well,
extensions
yeah.
every 6 months.
Stitcher wasn't on the next, what, it was.
I guess my question is, what happens if they come in 2 months after their permit has already expired? Do we just let that go? Do we apply a late fee?
That would be
Right,
great.
and that's,
Because the whole amount is kind of, I mean, if they're having problems or what, I mean, it would make sense to do a late.
They just need to
instead
be
of-
responsible, in lieu of giving you a ticket for working without a permit.
yeah,
Right.
exactly.
You know, you
We'll
would have to,
settle for a late fee,
Late fee and
which is what?
for.
You said.
$10.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
that is true.
Yeah.
What do they charge? $10 a year for being late.
Serious? That's what.
How about a percent?
For businesses.
Oh,
No, 5%.
No wonder you're not.
I think the percentage.
Well, I would definitely discuss that with the attorney, and make sure we're not violating anything. But propose 5% late fee for expired.
5% of, again, we get back to, there's your 2 items of the fee, and you totaled up.
Review and review.
So it'd be for both, 5% of total. Okay. We have a section.
Okay, hold on, I'm still stuck on 2. So on 2, it's gonna be the same as, you know, how it says if it's not picked up, months later due to condition to meet such, it's still gonna go with the sign permit from the department, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It's still gonna get administrative approved, but they need to pay the late fee.
This is if not picked up months later due to condition to meet such as submitted.
Yeah, and that'll be a 5% fee. And this is $60,000, and you're paying $60.
Okay, it's not approved. Okay, so did we decide on the, if not approved, did they get their permit fee back?
Yeah, they should get the
Permit
review,
fee,
the
yes.
review.
Review.
The review stays, but the permit gets paid back.
Yeah, the township. Is that what that is?
Pretty close to it, yeah.
The review fee.
Okay.
All right, looks like we're getting down the board.
Which is very seldom where they get their, and I always like to ask for their permit fee in advance before the meetings, because if they don't get approved and they never pay the review fee, they don't want to come and pay for it. Like, "I didn't know the way I like it." So I always try to. Mhm.
Okay, good.
But the review fee does not get paid back.
Right.
And that was the 20%.
I think it comes in about.
It's about that, I have a running chart, I don't do the math, I just do, okay, that's right. The computer poses it.
We've already talked about 5.
We
On
just
board,
did.
aren't we?
Yeah, we talked before, that's where the permit expires,
Oh, yeah, I
in
got
1
you.
year and a half, they can extend it every 6 months, providing they pay half the.
Yeah, that was part of it.
That was number 4, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
We talked about that.
That was a no, right? And 5,
It's pretty much the same thing,
just extend.
and then that 5% fee. They were failure to renew fee.
Oh, wouldn't it be the extension? If he forgets. If he forgets, isn't it that he pays the extension?
He pays for the extension and he pays the 5%
Okay.
for failure to renew.
He or she.
Or she.
He or she.
Or
They.
she, I think.
Them.
Dina.
They, them,
Hey,
they.
Bye.
Okay, so now
This
it's
is
6,
interesting.
should a permit request be considered if they are pending code violation?
Violation.
For the
Take
individual
care
or
of the
the
code
site?
violation first, that's only common sense.
Yeah, before.
Is it?
To me it is. Okay,
Well, for instance, an example is you have a code violation and maybe weeds, excessive weeds, rubbish, inoperable cars, or maybe even the building itself with, it's not being upkept to historic standards or any kind of standard, building code standards. And they want to add a garage carport. on the property.
It's kind of like you having a phone, but you're late on your feet, but you wanna extend your service, are they gonna let you do it?
Yeah, I wanna add internet and I wanna add
Right.
whatever to it.
Right, I mean, to me, that's what it's common sense. Like,
Yeah, it just doesn't say anything, I agree with you, it doesn't say that.
Make it say its own.
The only thing I can think of is, what if it's a historic property that they finally want to take good care of, and they have weeds? They're like, but we're ready to take care of this historic property.
You know, we spent, the first 2 weekends just burning older houses around our house.
They were part of there since it was built.
I don't know. Along with-
What I've done with something similar is like short-term rental. Somebody comes up to me and says, I wanna do my house short-term rental. I do, you got your house looking like that. You need to fix up your house, so it kind of forces them. You know what I mean? Instead of me trying to go to the core, getting fees, they want something from us. Okay, well, you want something from us, then you need to bring your house or your property up to standard.
Well, the way I see it is we have a code officer, right? And his job is to enforce or like be full aware of like violations of the code. So it's like, if the town of Mississauga should be more serious about that, like, yeah, it kind of.
Goes hand in hand.
But kind of along the lines of your comment, I put down here, depending upon the degree and extent of the violation. I mean, it's weeds or something like that. Why can't they go ahead and start working on the house or get a permit to work on the house?
Whereas
I mean,
opposed to if they have like like 5, or like 10 cars in front that they don't even use.
Yeah, that's kind of what
Well, it's fine, it should be taken care of right away.
But again,
Yeah.
the bottom line is that, to me, it says, depending on the violation,
How do we know that?
it needs to be corrected before.
I noticed,
Well-
then you had gray area.
Right,
Yeah.
well, also
That's
because,
Sorry.
I mean, think about it, when you're building a home, or adding on or whatever, you're gonna have a pile of debris from, so you're gonna have this mess on top of this mess now, and now it's gonna be a double mess.
And along with those words, when I lived in Las Vegas, they were required to screen all their construction. Right, because now we're in the strip, right, so all the construction, they had to screen it to keep it away, as an eyesore, keep it away from public side. So here, sometimes you get a permit for a year, and they got construction on their property looking messy, and it's not screened.
Until it's nice, until they finish. Yeah, that's true.
I say take care of the violations, no gray area.
Right.
Otherwise,
You got enough gray area.
you have to be,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's minor, yeah.
Because your opinion is different from somebody else.
And if they wanna do a historic preservation, we just have the other side of
No,
I guess the other question is how do we know that?
Well-
violations and who?
well, whatever's.
now that codes come in my department, I should know.
They document.
And will that be another question on permit for us,
Oh, to look at
It should be a check thing that says.
Yes, exactly.
any existing
Are there
permits,
any-
yes,
And
no.
yes.
No. All right, geez. The next page.
H2.
Oh, this is good.
I wanna add
What's the
something.
place to, let's read it.
Go ahead.
You want to go ahead?
Read it.
No, go ahead.
Are you doing the no person?
Yeah.
Shall stand? Okay, no person shall stand, stop, or park a vehicle on any street or property for the principal purpose of living within the vehicle. An RV can only be used for dwelling purposes for a maximum of 14 days. There can be no permanent connection for water, sewer, or electricity.
No, that's exactly where the code says, right? So whenever you see MTC, that's exactly where the code says. So those are my questions below. It says, number one, that doesn't mean someone can have extension cords, water hoses hooked up to it and won't be considered a living in it, since it's not permanent fixtures.
I would suggest adding temporary or
any connection,
permanent.
take out the word from.
This is probably gonna be temporary if they're only staying 14
And
days.
how do we,
Well,
how do we gauge?
That's the other thing.
I suggested that they get a permit for that way, because, and then also being with that permit, I was thinking about it, we need to limit, okay, say like one house has 2 trailers, 2 RVs or whatever hooked up to the house 10 times a year. I mean, I think that each property should be limited to say like, I don't know, 6 times a year, I don't know. Because you can have somebody stay in a property every 14 days. And then it's kind of different trailer, but still same property.
I think at the end of the day, is what do you think needs to is it a good idea to have a second family, a second whatever, living on the same property?
Well, you're not living, but you do have people that come in for vacation.
That's living.
And it's
Or-
because
or
I have a
temporary.
certain, near your place, kind of catty corner right there
Yeah,
on
corner.
Calle del Norte, they usually have 1 or 2 a year for,
Snowbirds or whatever. I mean,
right,
obviously,
and
nobody
then, you
comes
know,
around.
which is, to me, which is not a big deal, but
Yeah.
don't make it a permanent thing, so I think it has to be limited to 3
So many times.
3 to 6 times a year, or,
See, the thing is, it's hard to enforce that.
Yeah. I do.
but with permit,
But how? I mean, how do you?
So my cousin comes for 3 days with his trailer, I have to get a permit for him to put in an extension cord?
well, with the permit, I mean, wouldn't it? Because how else are we going to regulate? If it's
You're not
not documented.
Right, you're allowed to store, but you're not allowed to hook up to any utilities at all.
Even if my cousin comes for 3 days and stays.
Go stay at the farm.
I'm just saying, RV park.
I don't think you need to hook it up though, you know what I mean? Because our people will be self-sustained for 2 or 3 days. You don't need to hook it up. You know, but we're trying to have some of these homes that already have a light pole right next to them.
No connection.
I think local, and now, sometimes when you wanna go camping, you're gonna hook up your charger trailer, I mean, yeah. But you're not gonna drive every day, I don't think the court officer's gonna stop by and say, it's been a year since I haven't seen anything, but today I saw holes, you know?
Right.
So it's gonna be a matter of putting your case together and to continue to drive and take pictures and make
Okay.
notes.
Hold on, no, so we're just taking on the word permanent?
I don't think, that well, that's what you guys agree, I don't think there should be any hookups.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
No.
They can store it,
No
right?
connection, just leave.
Does our code state anything about storage
Yeah.
or read the trailers?
Okay, well, see,
And
but
there's
that's,
across from the lake, safety building, there's been 2 big trailers, RVs there for weeks. And I walked by today, and they're not hooked up at all.
actually, one of them was actually across at the Nieto property back there. I mean, kind of where all the trees were, so you kind of really didn't notice it, but now,
You know,
It may be
it's the
sad
same
or
owner,
something,
same
but-
owner, close battery.
and it's still their property, but nothing's hooked up.
Again, that's what I'm asking, what section of our code is it? I know the RF zone says that you're allowed to store trailers 35 feet or less, but HR doesn't regulate it, storage of trailers.
Yeah, personally,
Because a lot of people have them.
I don't think it shouldn't, I'm just saying it just doesn't say.
should we say something, if they're storing an RV or a camper, it needs to be maybe screened or something like that, I mean.
Well,
I
it's
hate to
hard.
see a whole hell of a lot of RVs next to historic structures.
I don't think they do, but nonetheless, just take out the word permanent. On that one.
That's what we're saying, right?
But if, the RVs we're talking about, if they're by my house for 6 months, that's gonna be okay, and by your house for 6 months, that's gonna be okay, and,
I mean, as long as they're not hooked up, it's fine.
I think it's pretty ugly to have
Yeah.
those things, we're not saying, we're saying you can do that wherever, as long as you want.
But then sometimes the streets are really narrow, and something that's also come to my attention is when these large structures are coming close to these historic structures, it's affecting the infrastructure.
Well, but again, if I were to go buy an RV that I wanna take camping periodically, I wanna be able to store it at my house. I wouldn't park it in the street, I'd park it on my possible, but passing down my street, you'll be able to see it. My fences and my, you know,
Yeah.
How about it just not in the HR zone?
what do you mean, that's still my property, as long as it's not hooked up. Yeah, my brother had his there, his grandson borrowed it, I mean, it's gonna happen when you move it back, you know what I mean?
No, that's the bulk of questions, I mean, I think as a commission, you know, we all voice our opinion, then maybe we just.
Well,
need
that's
to
why
go
they have
with it.
rentals for those places too.
Storage.
And are they being parked, right on the street? Is it
Certainly
backyard
not on the
versus
street.
back street?
It is-
For them, but they could come on.
Well, that's,
Right.
nothing, I'd rather see the RV than I would truck.
See, that is one of the also dilemmas, whenever you have an HR zone that covers the plaza and. So it's not the same zone, right, because restrictions should be more towards plaza,
More
HR.
strict.
Yeah, and now you have the calle Costera, calle Segunda, calle del Sur, yeah, they're historic, or maybe even like Casilla Farms, that are not historic at all, right, but somehow we're still grouping them under the same regulation. And could be something, if you live in the calle del Sur or Casilla del Farm, you could store an RV, whatever trailer, but not in the plaza area, right, which is should be to a different zone. And that's where we, as planning and zoning, we're like, we get to decide those things, right? Whether-
Certainly not in the plaza that you see.
Indeed, no, I agree with that.
So maybe this is not something that we can fix today. Maybe I think that things should be no permanent hookups, no hookups, period, and then just leave it at that, and then we'll come back and
Yeah.
revisit it, and then see if
Because
it
it
might
might
be
not be-
zoned or.
Yeah, I like that idea from the standpoint, it might not grow as big as we think.
I mean, it'd be a problem.
Let's kind of.
For now,
I like what you're saying.
let's just say no hookups to the RV while they're on the property, and then leave it at that, and then see where it goes from there.
So
I think we're gonna have our hands full already with the ones that are
I know,
hooked up,
I
that
know.
we're gonna have to do.
So another thing that I wanted to talk about is along those lines, in HC and some of the C areas where, like the bars, they have a truck parked outside for cooking. Well, I don't think we have anything in the code about that.
Well, you can't have a home occupation on your house, residential home, that, you're able to see, and it's not storage, there's no storage allowed for commercial.
Right.
So if you have
Food truck.
a food truck, or you have a electrician truck, or anything like parked on your parking lot. It's gotta be screened, it cannot be from, your residential home should look like a residential.
Now, I'm not talking about residential homes, I'm saying there's a bar down there. I know, I think, Vintage Wine Bar has a truck parked next to there that's serving food.
They do that twice, 4 times a year,
Oh,
by a special use.
Especially.
Yeah, they can, it's not in our code, but under our special use, they have to pay an additional fee.
Okay.
Not a common food truck will have a business license for a year and get to park there. They can't. Only, that's only for special parties, and
Yeah.
like Colossus is gonna have one here at the end of the month, for their anniversary,
Okay.
and they'll have a food truck out there on the parking lot.
All right,
So,
good.
and including this, is there a place where we can put that there's no overnight or 24-hour parking around the plaza area?
I think that's a totally different,
Within
but if you wanna add that, we can add that
No one shall.
at the bottom, at the end of the list. Not that it's least important, but I mean, we can add it to it and we can discuss it. Cause we talked about a little bit about that, maybe making it one way only, or maybe not having any parking at all, you know, so yeah, we do talk about that. It's another one of those things I'm really, for parking on our own plaza.
We're just not,
Okay,
How
so,
far are we on
we're
this?
not doing any of those. as long
so
as
you're
it's
not
in
gonna
the
do
code.
permit?
Okay, well,
I think that the word would
I had
be
a question.
no connection past solar.
We won't do that.
No
Yeah,
connection.
connection.
Okay, so one of the questions you had, and I think it's pretty important on number 4. I think it's okay for someone to park a trailer on their site that they're working on, so they can live in it.
Oh.
They don't have to pay rent.
That's why I put
2
it
or
on.
3 years.
That's what I'm, because they're all
I wish
municipality, I know I did.
already.
In my community, when I was at community development in Anthony and in Arizona, that, you can get a permit for an RV on your property, providing you have an active new residential permit happening. Okay, it's only good for a year.
I'd like to see that, yeah.
But that's not on our code, and I don't know if that's something option y'all want to talk that we should allow or not. I'd be.
I would think if the owner is there, they will keep better care of the maintenance of the property if they're living
They gotta
there.
have
I mean, I
somebody
can't
else.
see.
Yeah, I don't see it.
They're temporary, they have to have a temporary DPE and all that. So I like,
I totally
No,
disagree.
it's a bit.
okay,
It's just because some people take advantage, you know what
But
I mean?
you can't based on your code on that. I mean, some people probably will, especially what we're talking about now.
Right.
It's just that whenever there's a homeowner moving into the area and they wanna build a house, it'd be nice to stay in the RV
All zones.
and have pay
Yeah,
your mortgage.
That's what I think, we have to be specific on where.
For sure, not in the HR zone or the commercial zone.
Oh, we're gonna come back around and do this and discuss it again, but I just wanna kinda get a feeling for what y'all think, because even if we don't agree, that's good, but we'll come back and.
Hash over to you.
Okay, the next one. The Board of Justice, Messiah Town Code 18.85, 18.85.110, the Board of Adjustments for variances and the Board of Trustees for special use permits shall prescribe the form in which application shall be made and the type of information to be submitted by the applicant. Application shall not be accepted unless they comply with the requirements. This is something that I kind of wanted us to review is, if I read this, it says that the Board of Trustees are to hold special use permits.
Or board of adjustment.
It's a
The
board.
Board of Adjustments are to review variances, periods.
Oh,
Board
okay.
of trustees.
Right. And it's all one sentence, that's why it doesn't make sense. So the Board of Adjustments to variances and the Board of Trustees to special use, that's how I interpret it. Now, that's not how it's been happening, right? How it's been happening, we're doing the special use permit hearings, and then it goes to the Board of Trustees for final approval.
Do we have a board of adjustments?
Yes, it's one resident, one trustee, and one
Board?
commissioner. The resident is Paige Coleman.
Yeah.
The trustee is trustee Cadena, and the commissioner is Commissioner Reyes.
Oh, I thought we told.
No, but you are this year's Board of Adjustment, right? Yeah, Board of
Because they
Adjustment.
only-
Instead of
They
Gallego,
sit on it for how long?
you're appointed.
Oh, boy.
Again, that's
So
a
it's- Yeah,
that's a different topic.
Yeah.
So again, this is mayor appointed?
So again, the order, so it comes, any project comes to us, even for a variance, and then it goes.
The variance goes straight to the Board of Adjustment. It doesn't come.
Or it's public.
Well, we addressed it.
Yeah, we've addressed it and decided it needs to go for a variance, not to approve a variance.
Oh, no, okay, maybe that's.
You know what I'm saying? Now, the only ones that we have done is for subdivisions, and that's in the later on down there. Right? Subdivision is the whole title itself, that variances are considered by the planning zone.
If we could just make that sentence not so long.
Yeah,
Split it
divide
up.
it. This one does this one does this.
Okay.
And then it goes to the next one, which is, this is 1885-150. It says all applicants for variances or special use permits as provided in this title shall be sent for public hearings by the planning and zoning
Or,
or Board of Adjustment. So see, it just said right here, Board of Trustees, a few sentences ago, right? So again, that's going back.
Well, going back to the prior one, doesn't whatever we work on automatically, or usually automatically goes to the board of trustees for final approval?
Yeah, whenever we go through here, the final approval is for the Board of Adjustment.
Okay, so, current page on 1885-110, both of these, or all of the above, is regardless of the board of adjustments doing it or the board of trustees, the special use permits still come through us anyway?
Special use permit project.
Okay,
Special
so
use permit getting heard
by
by
us.
us and Board of Trustees, correct?
Correct, so, but either way, they both go for final approval to the board of trustees.
Correct. But who has a hearing is by dilemma, right? Because the hearing takes 14 days, postings, and all that stuff, right? And that's when the public comes and comments on the hearings, which they should, but they're commenting to a commission that's only authorized to talk code, right? And those kind of concerns needs to be addressed by the governing board. And I talked to the mayor and he agrees, but he wanted me to discuss it with you all. Now, with that said, the Board of Adjustments, in our code, says nothing about being final approval to the Board of Trustees, unless it's in the field.
But does it, okay, wrote that down, variance. Because somewhere along the line, somewhere along the line, it says, the DOT for public hearings. 1885, 230, 240, and 250. All kind of say that they're all supposed to, the public hearings are supposed to go to the, this is how I understood it. I could be reading it totally wrong, but that's,
Well, there's
but
different
that's what
sections
you
of our
also
code that
the appeal process.
say differently, but when we want to correct it, and I think between the mayor and us, if we agree that the hearing should be heard by the people. Right? We will also review it like any other permit case, right? And give the DOT a recommendation whenever they go for it. Right? We still review it. It's just, that will alleviate us from having to do two resolutions. Right? And then I need 10 days for approval, and 45 days to get answers. So doing it this way, they do all the hearings, we just give them the recommendations, we just need to pass all the information. But again, the board of adjustments, no, board of adjustments have just one shot, so unless you want to appeal it, then that goes to the trustees. Whenever you're, 2 minutes?
So,
Okay.
DOT, right?
Yes.
By setting, does that mean they have DOT as well?
And that'll eliminate all the comments that I put on here, like, we gotta send a resolution within 10 days to the applicant without even having final, consideration.
Well, on the number three, it says if special use and variances have the local guidelines to set up hearings. Does this include ordinance amendments?
Correct.
It says on 1885-030, variance is not an amendment. So no.
We want to know the three minutes?
She's on number 3 of 885. Next page. Bottom.
1885, 150? Is that right?
There was number 3.
Special use and variation, how is that as set up here? So, most of our, well, I think all of our hearing process is under 1885, 150, which is the section for special use permits and variance. If you look at our code, 18, this one is under 1885, variances, like 1885. So here, this regulates special use permit and various, and it specifically follow and give notices, notifications, we'll get some time frame, mailing process and all that. It gives the whole, but if you go back to 18, which is a whole amendment, which is changing, which is changing or proposed to changing, it doesn't give you the same guideline.
Right, but on 1885-030, it says a variance is not an amendment. So it shouldn't apply. Is what I'm asking.
Say it one more time.
On 1885.030, it says a variance is not an amendment. So I'm asking you, does that mean that this ordinance amendment does not fall under, it's not the variance is not an amendment, so the ordinance amendment should not fall under the variance?
So the 1885.
Do you understand what I
Because
said?
that's what that it's,
That's for
period is not an amendment, so I should be on that.
Right, that's what I'm asking.
For instance, like a good example, for a variance, a special use permit does not require for you to put it in a public local certificate, newspaper. Right, they'll just have different requirements. An amendment does, a special use permit doesn't, right? An amendment requires you to send a special use requires you to send a letter within so many, 150, 100, whatever. And an amendment to the code is not. Right? So I think it just has different, processes. The reason I think what I put this on here because there's been other cases before that it's been brought up, like, well, we didn't follow this process is because it's not the right title. It's in the wrong section. Just want to clarify that it's not the same as amendments, as variances, and board of adjustment, even itself, even subdivisions with its own title has, and that's one of the questions here, do subdivisions even require? I don't want to jump. It's already 6
I've
o'clock.
already
that's a different thing, but either way, well, I think we get some good info. I mean, it doesn't seem like we gained a lot of ground, but it's something clear tonight. I'll make those changes.
So what is-
I mean, we don't have anything going on in this, we can handle this, gonna finish in 10 minutes. Start.
So the number 3 is what?
Yes,
Special use of variance has its own guidelines to set periods. Does this include ordinance and then?
Cindy, the amendments for, changes in ordinance is the same thing as the special use permit, and variance has its own, and amendments for code has its own.
Does this include ordinance?
That's the same thing. Amendment-
But
You want a yes or no?
I'm confused. Because if a variance is not an amendment, how can it be an ordinance amendment?
A variance is exception from the code, providing
existing
your
guidelines.
hardship, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't change the code, it just allows you to operate on your request because you're exempt from our code because maybe there is a wash that rolls down to your property that doesn't allow you to follow our code, you know what I mean?
Got it.
That's what a variance is, that's why we talk about
Right.
hardship, you have to have hardship on the property itself
Right.
to consider to be a variance.
Right, that I understand. So.
That's the same person.
Is that answer yes or no?
The answer is, it's not the same. A variance and a ornament are not the same, and do not follow the same. Process.
I think we could knock off a few that these I think are
Great one.
very important.
Good.
Let's go to the storage.
Let's go to the easy ones.
Well,
Are there any?
yeah, before that, about the right of way, or right of entry, I think that. I think that's great.
You want to
That's
write it?
1835
Yes, one where everybody
060.
has to agree. Is that like, that's fine for the property, so that everybody has to agree?
If it's within, if it's on, right here in the property.
If you want to build a fence on the property line between two neighboring properties, both neighbors have to agree. And they have to give a notarized signature, they have to submit it.
And that goes with the land.
But,
That gets filed with the county, and from there on out, you are allowing the neighbor to come and serve or maintain the fence on the whole lifetime of that fence.
on their side.
See what I mean?
Okay, but regardless of whoever's putting up the fence, it's not all the time you've got people wanting to pay half and half. The question there is that either way, if neighbor B that doesn't wanna pay half for the fence and says, no, I don't wanna do that, doesn't he still have to have the 7 feet anyway? Like from the property line to build or,
That's what, see, this is what I'm telling you.
that's how I'm understanding what the code is reading?
Yeah, it depends how you read it, right? It doesn't say exactly what to do, what it says is, it needs to have a right of entry between both. If it's not, then it can't be within the setback of the property, which is 7 feet.
So what this is saying is that if the guy wants to build a fence,
Right.
and this guy, neighbor B says, no, you're gonna put a fence right on the property line, then the property line for this man that wants to do the fence has to be 7 feet from the property line? No.
That's what, that's
That's
what.
what I'm reading.
That is the way it
That's
reads.
exactly what
That's
I'm
what's
saying.
Twitter, what she
Some
says.
people consider that a taking.
Exactly,
I would say
exactly.
that.
So my question is, how has it been in our code for so long that nobody questions it, right? So
Well, but way back in the day, I mean, all we ever did was plant those, and I don't know what they're called, those big green trees with the little green fruit and the thorns that shrink your fingers.
Oh, yeah.
Like you stayed away, but that was always all property lines.
See, I think the reason why it was put in, that I think it was a Mexico league, municipal league.
This has been in forever.
They said,
Oh, I don't know when it was amended.
this way they say, it's crazy.
Yeah, and actually the Mexico league, that's what he said, that's a taking of a property. You just can't. So how do we resolve that, right? So, yeah, let's get rid of it, but this, now, this, I'm not gonna deal with that one. Okay? So if you wanna put a fence into both our property line, and I want nothing to do with it, right? So therefore, you require a right of entry, you put it anyway, how are you gonna maintain your fence on my side of the property?
You know,
Well, you just,
And so you're gonna cite me, I'm gonna look at a poorly kept fence, falling apart or whatever, because you don't wanna keep it, I don't want it, I don't want it. I don't wanna see that, I don't wanna block my view, I don't wanna.
but it's not on your property, because if you usually do it on
your property.
your own property. The only thing is that for you to maintain that side of the property, if you put it
Yeah.
right on the property line, you're gonna have access.
Well, even if you just, you don't put it right on the property line, it's just a little bit on your property.
Put in,
And
you
so-
find that?
Well,
Well,
I'll
the
give you
issue
a-
is, say you make it out of concrete blocks.
Right.
You have to get on the other side.
Well,
to maintain it.
I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
So my back neighbor, so my fence was there before they ever even considered the legal
Oh, right.
property.
No, okay.
So I believe that I maybe a foot, if even, from property. Yeah.
On your property.
But there's no room for me to get back there to maintain my side of the property. But it's also in her backyard. My backyard fence is her backyard. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I don't know if she needs pizza. I couldn't tell you, I don't know,
Yeah,
because I never go back.
I've got a fence that's right on my property line, or right. And, I just have a good policy from here. I could, you know, I say, can I throw it over the fence and if there are, can I trim it? Oh, yeah, I'm over.
Oh, I don't even ask her, we just tree chip, she chips her side, I chip
Oh,
my
well,
side,
that's
it
good.
doesn't matter.
Well, it's so,
You
yeah.
know what,
regulation.
but we need to,
Yeah, how do we?
what is it, 12.1?
Yeah, and again, some people just don't want to fence just because they don't want to fence, they just don't.
I don't like you and scream.
And I'm gonna make your life as possible as much as I can, that's exactly what it is. So, need a right of entry, but we should require for them outside of the setback. I think that's pretty ridiculous, right? Especially in our zone, I'm gonna give my neighbor 7 feet of, even though it's my property, because the fence is gonna be, and his dog's gonna run around. What about all the weeds that grow outside of my fence line, right? What about the dog that come on that side? Am I gonna, his dog's pooping on my yard, am I gonna be responsible for picking up because there's no fence in the right place? So I guess it's just hard. I never heard of right of entry. I've asked the municipal league and they said that's not something that they heard of. So we should really consider, removing it.
Okay.
This is the 17th.
1835-060-D-112.
Quite recently, what I learned is there's property that's been subdivided, divided, where there's actually structure between both properties, which share a common law. That's another weird, code that. The setback does not apply. Well,
Just,
Just the where it says.
I just say, just eliminate it and see what happens.
Setback?
They'll take it out.
oh, I did have a,
No,
Eddie, I did have that issue with this, is if you look at 18.40.040 E1, it's in the commercial zone. There is no mention about private.
Eighteen.
18.40.040 E1. It's in the commercial zone. Setbacks are required for 7 feet and less in these UDC code, meaning part of that, setback 3 feet. But there's no issue, maybe it doesn't, maybe it's not necessary to have a right of way. It's in within 3 feet, I think that's plenty area, work on the other side.
Yeah, it says right here, 1840.040 yards.
Yeah.
This is on the historic commercial, it's all structures, the side and rear yard setbacks must be at least 7 feet unless the structure meets building code standards.
You reading,
Fire restrictions.
you reading D1?
No, I'm reading the beginning.
So you're in HC?
Yeah, it's,
No, I was in C.
you're in the commercial zone? Yeah, historic commercial, that's what I'm in.
Oh, okay. Well, it wasn't necessarily historic.
Yeah, you said 1840 is historic commercial.
Okay, okay.
So it says right here, structures slash buildings constructed to the property line, zero lot line, shall require a right of entry agreement signed by all property owners, all adjacent properties for construction and maintenance that is recorded in the county, records about the county. This is only if you're gonna build a property,
Building is a
the
wall.
wall's gonna be,
Okay, of the building.
Correct.
Okay.
I know the one you're reading.
Nothing to do with fence.
Well,
Which is
yeah,
the one
the one you're reading was the one we had to deal with the American guy.
Oh,
That,
yeah.
you know, that said about and I remember the code, I just saw it.
you mentioned it's 1840?
No, it's on 1835.060.
1840.
I'm at 1840 right here, I don't see it.
It's 1835.060.
Oh.
It's the one that.
Oh, that's about fences.
Canopies and accessory structures
1835,
in the rear yard, that's what that means.
1835,
I'm sorry,
40,
060.
1835, 060,
Where it says canopies.
right here, right? Which one is it?
Where it says, see, where it says setback 3 feet from side or rear yard.
Rear yard. Canopies and accessory structures in the rear yard should not, that one, be more than 50% of the required area and can't be set back 3 feet from the side of rear yard of each yard. Rear
And
yard.
canopy.
Now,
I thought that's what it was.
no, what this is in case you want to build a shed, want to build a structure, it can be within the setback up to 3 feet if it's fire resistant and it can be more than 50%.
Okay. I thought that's what you were referring to.
Okay, go ahead.
So again, I mentioned the right of entry really is only mentioned in the HR zone. It's not mentioned in the residential. And I'm thinking maybe it's there because those lots are, the buildings are up to, to the property line. So we eliminate it, I think that's correct, eliminate the right of entry for requirement. And obviously I'm not just required any other.
I don't know, but then that was June 8th, 2020, is that when that was instant?
And I'm gonna get with the attorney, before we make any changes, it's gonna be with the attorney. Making sure that we're not gonna step on the
I think
wrong.
where you're talking about containers. Should be.
Okay, wait, can we just kind of clarify? So the 1835.060, it was taken off the setback? Number one, only the front setback, no setback? What are you talking about?
Right here, number 1. I wrote no way.
Is that what that means?
But you're not gonna take up the whole thing. You're just
Okay, so it's
saying
any
it's not
repair of
covered.
structures or fences have to have legally built, in this 2020. New constructions of fences shall require a right of entry signed by all property owners of all applicable parties for their construction and filed with the county. And then number 1 says, does the application need to give up 7 feet of the property if the neighbor does not agree?
And
And the answer, I think everybody kind of does that, it's no. It should,
I know.
it should have to give up 7 feet.
Oh, okay.
And the reason why I'm saying 7 feet is because in an HR zone, the setback is 7 feet. And a wall is not considered a wall unless it's on the fence, on the property line. If it's not on the property line, then it's considered to be a structure.
Right.
And that's why it says 7 feet, because they're not allowed to have
So
structure.
it's just no.
Just remove,
And then the
Right.
reference to building itself and not the fence. Corner lots.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh. Remove or keep,
remove, okay.
tell me no and then got it. But the rest of it stays.
For now, yeah. We're just gonna remove it, and then I'm gonna deal with the attorney, and I'll do a little bit of research, but I think everybody agrees that it's not like doing 7 feet of the property. There's a different option, different ways of doing it, and, we'd rather do that.
And the next one we're addressing,
You wanted to talk about containers? Yeah. Sure.
Very next page.
Yes. It says, no mention of shipping storage containers not allowed in the SIA, as in the SIA Town Code 1820.020I, is the storage only of trailers and campers, provided they are not in excess of 35 feet in length and provided that trailers and or car campers are not used for human habitation for, nor shall they be connected to any public or private utility system such as water, sewer, gas, or electric.
So that includes HR, or RF, that's the first thing I read.
That's just
RF.
RF.
And then RA is the same,
All is for RF.
and
R1 as well.
RA, or R1.
So those three, R1, RA, and RF is regulated. This is not regulating HR.
Right.
HR allows you to sleep there or be there for 14 days and allows you to hook up.
And no mention of the storage in HR.
So the question is, what is the concern?
My question is the definition, because a shipping container.
We don't have to know what that is.
They're all, it's all storage, most of them. Those are gonna go home out of it, which some people have. But what I'm getting at is, aren't we covered pretty well in HR about storage? And we allow them to put in sheds, that's a storage container. Remember, in HR, that guy brought one up that lived in a barn, he said. So,
Should be containers.
Well,
Just-
It's on there.
I don't want to see shipping.
yeah,
I
I
don't want to see that, period.
First of all, they're not historic, like if people that get put up in the RF zone or R1 or whatever for fire purposes, that's still not like the traditional barn or shed or that they put, to preserve their farm. I mean, they don't farm anymore like they did before, but that has nothing to do with historical, nothing.
Well, the RF zone is not historical.
But
It's
still,
RF is
it's-
agricultural.
It's thinking mainly of the town property.
down, right?
Because I was just recently out talking to some construction people, I said, what if you cool, you take some storage containers, and then you stackle them, and then you have them for storage and rental.
People build homes out.
It-
Because I know people that have. There's one that's a business right there off of Bowman.
Yeah, they call it reclaimed, it's part of the, push for recycling. Right? It's from the States.
That's not-
But it's a modern, I think it's more of a modern structure that doesn't really necessarily, that's a structure that I'm talking about. Now, should the farmer be able to have a shipping container to store all his pesticides? Providing he paints it and it looks like a shed.
No, because of the heat, it's not regulated. You're gonna have an explosion
Fire
in
department
there.
have to address that.
I'm saying, I'm just being clear with that.
I would say no, especially
So no
in
shipping
Jensen.
container whatsoever. I think everybody agrees.
Issue that, yeah.
See?
Or-
And it's not mentioned at all, that's why, before, I said, oh, you can't, like, what does it say? I just wanna make sure that we write that in.
I kinda thought like that fell under the mobile home with the wheel.
I just storage.
Shipping containers to me are totally different. And most people, maybe we have to define them a little
That's
closer,
the definition.
because we may have a notion of what a shipping container is, but probably.
Or like I just said, like, people buy a big shipping container to use for Airbnb and stuff like that, right? But I know that, and it's not to see other activities during the home, like that, right? So which container do they put in the town? Probably not. The other way, if it's outside of the town, yeah, there's more free.
That's a good point you bring up too, because there's pots now,
Yeah.
and maybe that's something we have to.
That's not the rate twice, it's already, why did it turn, it's allowed. It's just for the moving purposes, I think we should choose it.
Oh, but I've seen some in some places.
There is a rumor out there that they want to put pots over there on the property where it belongs to you guys to house the seminarians. So that should be
Floating around.
I would say no, because then you have.
Either way.
Just be proactive in some of those things. Is there any meetings that you can see that we're gonna have short meetings like this? be.
It's kind of well, it's kind of hard to tell, but, no, I think hopefully by our next one, we really get, I don't
Yes,
see
I would
any,
like to do it by.
very soon, any big ones. One I do wanna talk about, I did have a case right now that's active, I can't talk much about this stuff, but, there is a property that has trees overhanging to the neighbor's property. Right? And to the point to where it's created a nuisance on this property, the debris, because of the pine needles or the leaves of pine cone, but it's also restricting the agricultural, sector. And so now there was pushback from the property owners saying that, you know, this tree under state statute is not, violating state laws because, tree, I don't know what to call it, debris, flowers, fruit, there's two actually district court, case laws that have passed, that have been appealed, that have decided that it's not considered a violation of the neighbor. With the Steve, his limbs overextending over to the neighbor's yard and dropping all of the years. That is
Can
just,
a neighbor just whack them?
the neighbor can whack him, but if the tree is 30 feet long and he's got, you know, 4 trees, how is that his fault? How is that he's gonna have to pay because the trees are in your side, right? So how do you address something like that?
So wouldn't it be a?
In this case law, the court decides it's not a violation, but yet, it's a nuisance, right? So anyway, that might be something, the next meeting, I come on, I have to do a little more research, that I might propose an adoption of some sort. That, because this is not the first time, there's a lot of sequias out there, and people feel, because they're an agricultural town, that EBID is responsible for them, and they're not. They're not. They're not. EBID is only responsible for the laterals, the big.
Okay.
The sequias are not, okay? Like the one that goes to the plaza, EBID is not regulated. No, it's not, that's the town, right? So there's a lot of, prior agricultural lands that the sequia goes through that doesn't regulate by EBID, but EBID laws or codes, we don't mention them, is every property owner is responsible for cleaning that section of the sequia that is adjacent to the property. So therefore, it doesn't create a blockage or water issue down the line. But because EBID is not regulating a sequia in our town, we do not have, and we're supposed to have, a community, a sequia community irrigation code ordinance to regulate.
I know in the past, everybody took care of.
But it's kind of
their
sad, you know,
area.
the thing, and I asked him to, you know, I said, regardless of code, just do the right thing. If you think it's okay to live overhead over your neighbor and drop all these trees and pine and run them, so you think that's all right? Well, because it's, I don't care what state, I'm asking you, as a neighbor, do you think that's okay?
Well, yeah, I get
You
it.
never asked. You always wanted to go back to, well, what state, some of these people know knowledge, whatever their backgrounds are. And they think that, you know, they can get around, just do the right thing, just do the right thing. Because I guarantee you, even if a code doesn't mention it, in 2 months from now, you're gonna have to clean it.
Well,
Once the code gets amended, it's okay, you can go with it.
we're just
Because it-
But, I mean, this is the kind of fall on the same lines as, like the feral cats that people feed. People do feed them. And then they go and they follow up your yard, and the people
Eat
that
your
are feeding
birds.
those cats are not, they're from everybody's yard.
And then they call you, complain that there's too many cats, and they want you to send traps. They come pick them up, which costs the town $80 per cat to impound.
Well, I had a
And it
neighbor
has
that wanted
kids.
to bury a dead cat in somebody else's yard and not my home, like,
It's just hard to make everybody happy. Yeah, I understand, that, you know, our shelter has a DNR program, which is trap and release. You catch the cat, you take it to them, they'll clip their ear, they'll spay, neuter, vaccinate, their whole 9 yards, and they'll bring it back, and there you go. Right? And the purpose of that is
but then
because,
you let it go back in your yard, so it can go poop in your yard.
but, again,
I don't know what we can do about that.
that's what
I
they,
know, it's,
what I
it's
used to
just-
tell them is, you know
it's
what,
just,
there's a
because I
reason
get it
why,
from,
there's a reason why your cat's
like,
there. There's a reason why the cat is just like, well, I don't know, the reason why the cat is there. Either you provide food, shelter,
I do
or
not,
security, one of the two.
I do not, but my neighbors.
I'm just saying, so that's why it was there, because you have something, if I, you ask for a trap and you have rubbish in your yard, I will let you out, because right? You have a mystery yard, it's expected for you to have
No, I
mice
have,
and you will take care of it.
I have cat shit everywhere.
So,
Oh, yeah.
I know this.
oh, I know that. This is real work.
June the work. Sure.
And the 5 minute break, we're going straight into it.
Straight.
Straight into it, let's do it.
Straight into what?
While we're cleaning up, straight into it.
I know it's like a lot of phone, but I think it's good to have a lot of friends talking.
Do we need to approve the minutes and?
Yeah.
There
Yeah,
was
we
a
gotta
couple
go through
of
the formality.
discrepancies on that.
Just for the minutes.
I saw.
Mayor's Oh. Almost there.
Two water. This is kind of fun, if we have nights that we don't have it.
Yeah.
Because if we can just be proactive on a few things.
Yeah, I agree. I know, I think it's just like funny, like posting something and then like, well, what about this? I'm like, oh, I didn't think about that. You know what I mean? So it makes you have to think.
Well, I don't have the broad knowledge of this little line is here, but it's different over there.
Makes you really have to think about everything.
So,
Coming up?
yes, ma'am. Your name's up here. Right there.
Oh, my goodness.
You're official. So Eddie, need a little help here. Are we gonna just go right down to item 5? Okay. Quorum? Okay, I didn't think we had to. Next time, just say a work session. On the agenda. All right, so you could join us with a pledge allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Now, if we'll call for a roll call and determination of quorum, Mr. Salazar.
Vice Chair Gallegos. Commissioner Miller.
Here.
Commissioner Paz.
Here.
Commissioner Lucero.
Here.
Mr. Chair Walker.
Present?
Okay, we have quorum, Mr. Chair. I'd like to make note, Commissioner Alviar and Commissioner Mulvihill and Commissioner Gallegos are absent.
Correct. Thank you. Okay, next item is number 3, which would be the changes or approval of the agenda.
I move to approve agenda.
Second.
All right, first motion by Commissioner Miller, second motion by Commissioner Paz. There's no discussion. I'll take the vote, Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Paz,
Yes.
Commissioner Lucero.
Yes.
Chair, motion passes 3-0.
Thank you. And since there's no projects, I would assume that we're going to go ahead and delete the public input. Correct? Okay, thank you. And now we're down to the approval of the consent agenda, which is the May 4th, 2026 P&Z regular meeting minutes. Do I need a motion, please?
Move to accept the consent agenda, including the Pzhac meeting minutes.
Okay, second.
Second.
First motion by Commissioner
We'll have a
Miller, second
discussion.
motion by Commissioner Paz. on approving the regular meeting minutes for May 4, 2026.
Any discussion? Yeah, thank you. I think, Ms.
On the first page, where it says roll call, Commissioner Paz and I were present. It says we were absent.
Alternate commissioner?
Yes, it says we were
here?
absent.
Were you here?
Yes, both of us.
Yeah, we were both here.
And then,
Were you here as well? Commissioner Fox?
Yes.
Okay,
and then
good catch.
because it doesn't have a page number board, it says number 7 discussion. On the bottom where it says CID representative, Mr. Ray.
Yeah, I saw that.
Who
Yeah.
is that?
I know, I'm like, who's that?
I caught that and I called him. I called
I
him
think
on
that
it.
was it.
He
I
corrected that
had-
one.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
No,
That was an AI. That was an AI,
AI was-
MAI.
That was it on my part.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Any other comments? All right.
Good. All right, so again, the first motion was by Commissioner Miller, second by Commissioner Paz. Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Paz,
Yes.
and Commissioner Lucero.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, motion passes.
All right, thank you. Now it's down to item number 8, which is, excuse me, number 5. Well, yeah, there's not a number 6. Anyway, that's the commissioner and staff comments.
All right, so I'll leave the next week to Ms. Niana here coming up, but again, thank you for the work session. I think it was a lot of information. I just don't want people to feel that, we're not being heard or we're not getting anywhere. I think
We're starting
there's
to.
quite a few things we did
Yeah.
agree on that we
Yes.
can scratch that off my list, and I'll eventually put it on an agenda on the ordinance with the corrections on it that I've done before.
Okay.
And then we'll get it ready for a hearing, probably not this meeting, maybe, the meeting after that. We are right now discussing with the board of trustees our upcoming end of fiscal years is coming.
Oh,
at the end
that's
of
right.
June. The new fiscal year is July 1st.
Mhm.
So we are talking about a lot of changes, some changes, I won't say a lot, some changes. And as I mentioned before, I did request an additional staff member in the community development, which it appears that they did agree. So they will be providing a coordinator to take my place, doing permits. I'm still gonna be here, I'm still gonna be well involved with the Pzhac, but also be involved a lot with the code enforcement, the historic preservation, and events coming up.
So code's coming over to you.
Correct.
Okay,
And that's
good,
why,
good.
one of the reasons
That
why I'm
makes
working
sense.
on these interpretations of codes. is
Yeah.
because when we do get involved with it, more with the codes, I want to have, be on the same page with
Yeah.
all, with them.
Makes sense.
And I'd like to also request that the board of trustees, again, one responsible for 3 titles, right? So I'll be going to them just as much as here. If there are any changes in our code and their line of work, such as enforcement and
Yeah.
those kind of things.
Right.
And then we'll be doing work sessions then, and hopefully with that, I can bring a little bit more better communication and collaboration between both both boards, governing board and the Pzhac. What else? We did, I think and I apologize, but I did send you an email that.
I got it finally. I finally found it.
I think we did
I was
have
out
a
of
good,
town.
thank you for coming for the the workshop
Yeah.
for the economic impact. I think it was something that was a takeaway that I did like. Again, one of the trustees asked about, how that relate to smaller municipalities.
Right.
Well, we do take what fits you, right? It's not
Right.
something that we need to replicate exactly how they do it, but I think some of these things are pretty positive.
Yeah.
And,
Mhm.
we're gonna work at it, and if you have any questions, concerns, I'm always around, and then, I'll go ahead and give the floor to Ms. Yana here, because, let me tell you, she's a workhorse, and she's all over
I
it,
know.
and I'm very, very happy with her work, and hopefully we can continue that.
Good evening, commissioners. Well, yes, as Eddie was, or Mr. Salazar was just explaining, a lot of movement happening. And I was very pleased, and it was really exciting, and I'm sorry, Commissioner Lucero, you were on time, but it's Coast time.
A different time. And same thing with Eric. Eric made it a point to come here.
I'm really planning on,
Yeah.
every time they'll forward me this, I think that's something that needs to happen. I love that interaction, and you know, and on top of all that, it makes me feel supported, you know, in the work that I'm doing.
Yes.
And that way you can see where I'm coming, or just everyone really can see where I'm going with preservation, where my mind is half of the time. The other half is doing a bunch of other things. So I was just explaining to Mr. Salazar that maybe in addition to those webinars, every, you know, probably in tandem with the newsletter, when it comes out, I will have a speaker.
Good.
Something, you know, find something relevant to preservation. That would be a good way to kind of, additionally, it is required for the CLG, which if you didn't get the news, we are officially CLG certified. Really, really exciting. So yeah, thank you all for your help and I think and support with that and just, you know, just hearing me out for the most part.
Yeah.
However, yes, so this is great moving in a preservation sense. Just so you know, as far as like funding for preservation, it's looking tough.
Yeah.
You know, right now for the 2027 fiscal year for preservation federally, they want to cut about 95% of what it is looking
Federally.
like. So that is wild, but as a community, we can get so much more done. You know, we don't need, I mean, it's very helpful when you get this federal funding, but this advocacy amongst each other, amongst ourselves in the community, that's how we'll get it done. And so it's a trying time or something like this, but we push through.
Now, doesn't that program have state funding?
There is.
Okay.
So
there is some.
So we will say it's funding, however.
It's a lot less.
Yeah, it's a battle, but it can be done. And tomorrow I will be submitting the Endangered Latinx Landmark nomination.
Right.
And I asked, you know, one of the commissioners, actually I asked the Commissioner Paz to write a letter, but then I said, why didn't I ask more people? But so if you have the time, what I'm trying to connect with this is the Mexican and Latino Latinx, what they refer to as Latinx heritage, and our agricultural lands and why we need to save them and why they're endangered. So if you have a few moments tonight, it doesn't have to be, you know, it doesn't have to be a thesis. It can be just a simple statement. And this is for anybody who would like to contribute to that and say, you know, this is why it's connected to this culture and you know what you feel, which yes, it's and I've even extended out to some. I know a lady who lives off of Snow Road, and she supplied me with a letter as well, and she's into preservation. So that's really exciting because once again, I feel supported, but it's not only for me; it's for the town, it's for everybody here and beyond. But you know, and following up with that is next week is Preservation Week, which for me, you know, I may have mentioned to a few of you, it started out as a seed and it was just going to be just a small education piece for the town, but then little bits and pieces started to come and I was like, oh, let me just make it 4 days. So there'll be a few movies, there'll be you know, wonderful demonstration workshops. Please take a look at the schedule if you haven't. It would be really, really nice to see you at least one or more of the events. There's even some events later in the evening. I believe there's one that begins at 6 o'clock, one 5:30. I try to get for those people who can't always, but unfortunately, a lot of the lectures and the majority of the workshops will be during the day. But it's you know, hopefully you can make it to something. So
where are these published for the average Messiero? Where is the schedule published?
I had directed
that because I've been asked
to publish it to send the schedules around town. They're posted where our normal posts are. We have copies here at the town hall. It's on our website and on our social media as well. I've been to a number of the cafes. I have one published at the library. Really, you know, and MSU, really just trying to, even with students, I just gave a copy to the district land officer for the BLM out there. So I'm really just trying to push this out there because this is really important for many reasons. So and you know, who knows what it can spark amongst us, what connections we can make, but how what it can spark for anyone else. You know, I had someone reach out to me from La Union, and they said, well, we're trying to preserve
Oh,
our
nice.
community center. And how are you, how can we
What are you
do this? I said, please come speak about it. And as I mentioned, I will also have a storytelling hour where this is really open to, you know, you can talk about Messiah, you can talk about preservation, you can talk about loss of culture, but whatever's speaking to you at that time and what you feel needs to be preserved or conserved, you know, in both ways of that. So yeah, there's, you know, as you mentioned, there's a bajillion things going on in my mind and how we can, you know, really treasure what we have here because it is very unique.
Nice.
What else back
I had a
there?
brief question for you. And in your spare time, what's the status on the local land register? Historical register.
Okay, so
Where are we at? Oh, yeah. Well, that was my next question. That was my next question.
So I am looking at 3 new structures. I won't mention them right now, but if you want
Okay.
to speak with me
Okay.
separately about it, I will be happy. Yeah, to kind of begin.
Yeah.
Mr. Salazar made a 1 or 2 or 3, but we yes. So it's coming up. So when I said in June,
Take
I
a
will
break.
become quiet. And then I'll get to this other work, but I'm never really. I'll be also hosting some summer classes for our summer rec program with the kids.
Oh, nice.
Awesome.
Which is really also important to me. And
Yep.
so, tons of things.
Good for you.
Working on that code report?
Oh, yeah, so wonderful. So I'm really excited. I had 2 students from DACC. Like I said, I'm just reaching out. I'm reaching out to anybody, whatever will hold on. And because I noticed people want to form this community, you know, or any community and be part of bigger growing things. And it's really, really wonderful. But I reached out to the media instructor at DACC a few months ago when the semester started, and I said submit some project requests. I had a number of them, but 2 were selected and completed. One of them was one of the students was to take photos of all our historic properties that are on our national register already.
The current register.
Yes, the current register. And what we're going to do is create small informational historic packets for each of these structures.
Oh, whoa, nice.
To go side by side with that, we'll also be having some of the interns from the Doñana County that they have the intern program. If you're not aware with that, they do that. And it allowed us like maybe 4 or 5 interns. So there'll be some working here in town hall, and the other, I think 2 to 3 will be at the county clerk's office, the assessor's office, kind of doing research and helping me create these packets, which is very, very exciting because the records started at 1850, but even precede that.
Oh,
so
wow.
Hopefully we can get as much. And what I'm looking for with that in particular, I mean, not only is it really cool to have that information, but also be tying in maps, preferably like even maybe newspaper articles with names that are found, and I'm just trying to make these connections with people and land lots. A lot of the times when you're explaining land lots in an old deed, it'll say 30 barras from Mr.
Right.
You know, and so which is just relatively. So maybe we can create an 1850s map of what it was looking like, you know, just within Messiah. So that's one thing. And then another is a project that I had requested because I knew I'd be working with the children, and they really responded. They responded so wonderfully to me and what I was doing last summer. So I was like, I'm happy to do it again, but let me see if somebody wants to do kind of a Messiah coloring book with some of our historic structures and just Messiah in
that's
general.
very cool.
And the gentleman that I interacted with, and I was like, I want to give you some credit, and his name is Zachariah de la Paz, and he created a wonderful Messiah activity book. So there's crosswords, there's find the difference, but you know, not only is it stimulating your brain, you're also learning about Messiah and making these connections. And there's minimal historic buildings, but that's okay because I want to maintain this attraction for a child. But I realize the book can be for everybody. it's a lot of fun.
I want
and-
one.
Yeah. I love adult coloring books, so it doesn't matter.
We were talking about all these awesome opportunities. We can start with that. It's, maybe we can do this, but I really want to just get it printed. So we'll be, we, and probably me, or or maybe my interns.
We and me.
My volunteer, my main volunteer, she's been out for quite some time. She had a big surgery, and
No.
I'm missing her.
Yeah, I bet.
I don't tell her that. But if anybody has a moment and wants to help me assemble these, it's we're just gonna get a cover, and it's a 20-page, and we're just gonna kind of staple them, and then have it for everybody. And but specifically, my direction was to hand it to the kids and maybe working with someone doing that summer program.
In the book, in the front of the book, are we going to have the color code that's correct for the town? that would be helpful. I think we should. Yeah, right. All brown.
When do you plan on starting to put the books together? I can come and help you.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Just let me know. I prefer you text me because I don't check my emails. I'm a month early and an hour late.
An hour late.
Eventually, I'll get it correct.
Let me know when they're ready so I can color.
Right? So we're like, how she get some crowns, she do all these things, but
Yeah.
there's
fun.
my future projects with them is perhaps make a video for. It's not sitting right now, but I have all of this to think
I want to see a puzzle.
Oh, you're a puzzle person. I think she's volunteering, by the way. Just say yes.
I always think of this thing as a visitor center, and we want to
Oh.
have these things.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
For the kids and stuff, but maybe we can also, and one thing that's always resonating is how can we increase this preservation, well, not increase, but have a preservation fund. So maybe some of these things that when we
Can
sell,
generate
we say,
some-
this is gonna go towards.
Yeah,
local, this
exactly.
is gonna go towards the blacksmith, or this is just gonna go to the seniors and the elderly who can't afford to repair their.
Yeah, you could sell it in the Barilla store.
A lot of times when we do a lot of online registration by that, they say, you want to donate $2 to eventually once we get our online permit process, so like, we'll ask something like that as well.
Yeah.
For store, do you want to donate, even your chains like Panda, right? For the
Right.
Shower House or whatever, and then, it'll
Right.
say certain categories for preservation or whatever, beyond that, I think that would be a good thing.
Yeah, and we actually have some merch for the
Some merch.
Okay.
preservation week. A lot of it will be given as a gift to those who are willing to storytell. So if you're
Ooh,
not
incentive.
thinking about it, maybe you're thinking about it now. But once again, really just try and get people excited, and we don't have a lot of merch for preservation or even the town that we have some, I won't discount any, but it's out there, but for preservation, really. And I also will be having a historic preservation proclamation. And this
Oh,
all
good.
came about because May is Historic Preservation Month, so.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Very good.
Yeah, you can just tell Mayor sometimes today, that matter of fact, he stopped by, I heard you two talking, and I had to stop by and ease in the conversation. We're always going off of ideas. And it's good to have somebody that's excited about ambition, excited, passionate about historic preservation. I really do.
Yeah, we got her.
For work.
If only we had someone like that was excited.
Gee, I wish we did. Lori.
Another
Leave it to
story-
Lori.
A few other things I just want to mention just real quick. During the new fiscal year, the budget and stuff like that, there were mentioned about having some type of compensation for the planning and zoning commission. Right? The amount and all that stuff is still being, discussed. I don't get involved too much with that part of it, but I do know that, I've had it seen, and that I think it's something that, only because I think I do value you guys' work. And I know
Thank
it's
you.
not easy,
Thank you.
but I do want to thank you for that, right?
Thank you.
As far as interaction with the community, I like playing chess. I have a new 3D printer. I print all kinds of stuff that for chess pieces, right? We can come up with here in in the lobby, people wanna come in and play chess. In the lobby, we'll put the big old pieces, they can come and sit down and they'll check out the pieces here at the utility, come and sit down and they'll play chess.
Yeah.
Something like that, or maybe a horseshoe.
Or do a puzzle.
All it takes is just 2 stakes at the park, and then you play horseshoe, game of horseshoe, whatever.
Yeah.
Something just more interactive with the community. Since we was on the board, we have this office here, what do we do with this office, right? Now, do we lease it to another utility company? Does it come and,
Cornhole?
makes a little bit of money off of that, or do we
Yeah.
open it up for merchandising, so it's always, we're always, talking with, revenue and serving services for the sake of obviously giving back to the community. It's not about, us making more money or whatever, but, it's funny whenever I go to the economic roundtable with other municipalities, the schools in the county, some of the park, they're always talking growth, and some of the projects exploding, something like they're boosting themselves, how well we're doing and this and that, and then it always comes to me, and I can ask the mayor, it always comes to me, I'm like,
What am I gonna say?
we have a totally different challenges than you guys have. See,
All right.
you guys talk industrial parks, you guys talk,
Yeah.
what are we talking about? All these commercial buildings, I'm like,
We don't go there.
To see, I think that we would like, I think
Yeah.
people, and they all do, there's 20, 30, 40 of them in there, so Messias, we love Messias, Messias is so unique, and you guys keep it that way.
Yeah.
And it's good to hear, and at the
Yeah.
same time, they affect a lot of our outcome, right?
Sure, sure.
So those meetings are also very promising, so. Anywho, it's time to bring that out there. People do recognize other municipalities, Messiah, and they do share issues, and they love coming here.
Yeah.
Except
Oh,
we
yeah.
have different challenges, so.
Right.
I'm all down for any kind of challenge. So we'll-
Very good.
we'll see what happens.
Thank you.
Anywho, that's all I have. I stand by for any questions.
I just want to make
Yes,
a comment
ma'am.
about your chess thing.
Yeah.
I did run into, over the weekend I was out of town, I did go into a restaurant where they had a little sign and a big old chess set where people would come in and play chess.
Play
That
chess,
was
yeah.
just blew me away. That was so neat.
Yeah.
It's a good
Yeah.
idea.
And it's I find it very rewarding, very relaxing,
Yeah.
and it stimulates your train of thought. And as I told my kids, if you stimulate your mind, your thinking, your
Yeah.
critical thinking,
Yes.
it helps you in any other aspects of making decisions, right?
Yeah.
Don't do that, do this. And of course, my
Maybe
wife
something like that at the
doesn't know how to play. I'm teaching her. She's lost every game so
Some
far.
tables set up?
She promises one day she's
Yeah.
gonna do, which is good. That's
Yeah.
market.
good.
Yeah, I'd like to add to that comment because, I've had the opportunity to travel in a lot of places in the world in different cultures. They're playing stuff out in the plaza on the tables. The old guys are there playing cards or play. So it's a way, dominoes, definitely that. It's a way for the community to get together.
We just gotta provide a place for the.
Yeah,
right?
to do it.
I mean, I would love
Exactly.
to have a chess tournament at the community center.
Yeah.
And people love chess. I just heard today that, there's a commission of some sort of nonprofit that chases bumblebees and tracks them and records them and does all kinds of cool stuff to them. I mean, it's like, they even talk about the butterfly garden preservation. There's just so much.
Wish
stuff.
they could pollinate my
It's all
trees.
for New Mexico, the land of enchantment, right? Why do we want to make it an Albuquerque, right? Why do we want to make it?
Yeah.
We're the land of enchantment, and I think we are recognized that way of being an outdoor state. And I think
Yeah.
try to hang on to that. It's hard, but I think that's what we need. And that's what we want. So the key is, how do we remain self-reliant?
Yeah.
That's the key.
Yeah.
And that's why I
Yeah.
tell you, that's why we come up with a lot of things that some of the residents don't understand, that we're not trying to grow, we're just trying to create self-reliance.
Yeah.
Right? So anyway.
Think we're ready for adjournment.
Not a,
Nope, not I.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you all.
Thank you all. Appreciate it. Oh, man. Sitting down.
Any comments, any questions?